Ladies and gentlemen, to be authentic is to live with an unshaken allegiance to truth about oneself, one's values, and one's place in the world. An authentic woman stands like a lighthouse amid the tempest, not because she has no fears or doubts, but because she refuses to let them dictate her actions. She is not swayed by the ephemeral applause of society or the shifting winds of cultural expectations. Instead, she is grounded in the unchanging essence of who she is. This authenticity is both her shield and her sword. It protects her from the hollow seductions of conformity, where many lose themselves in a desperate bid to fit in. It also cuts through the illusions others might try to place upon her, exposing falsity wherever it may lurk. An authentic woman is neither boastful nor self-effacing. She simply is, unapologetically herself. This steadfastness is unsettling to those who live by pretense, for it mirrors back to them all the ways in which they have compromised their own identity. Her words carry weight, not because they are loud or adorned with rhetoric, but because they emerge from a place of integrity. She speaks not to impress but to express. In a world so accustomed to wearing masks, her transparency is almost shocking. She dares to let others see her flaws and struggles, not as a cry for pity, but as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. This openness disarms many and terrifies others. For to be in the presence of someone so wholly themselves is to be reminded of the parts of oneself that have been silenced, hidden or sold for the sake of acceptance. Moreover, authenticity requires courage, for it demands a willingness to stand alone if necessary. It means embracing the reality that not everyone will understand or approve of her choices. But such a woman understands that approval is a fleeting currency, and that the pursuit of it often leads to the impoverishment of the soul. To walk authentically is to walk freely, unbound by the chains of societal expectations and the fears of rejection. Her authenticity not only challenges others but also calls them higher. It invites them to examine their own lives, to strip away the veneers, and to rediscover the core of who they truly are. It is a call that not all are ready to answer, for it requires a bravery that many have yet to find. Some will admire her, others will envy her, and still others will fear her, but none will forget her. Emotional depth is a reservoir of wisdom, a place where the currents of experience, intuition, and understanding converge. It is not merely the capacity to feel, but the capacity to feel profoundly, to navigate the intricacies of joy and sorrow, love and loss, hope and despair, with an awareness that transforms mere emotion into something far greater. A woman who embodies such depth carries within her a presence that can be both a comfort and a challenge. She is not afraid to wade into the depths of her own soul, nor does she shy away from the currents of another's. Her emotional depth often manifests as a quiet strength. It is not loud or ostentatious but steady, like the unfathomable depths of the ocean. She can absorb the storms of life without being capsized by them, for she has learned to weather her inner turbulence with grace. This strength is not the absence of vulnerability, rather, it is the mastery of it. She does not suppress her emotions but allows them to flow, to teach her, and to refine her. In doing so, she gains an understanding that many fear to seek, a knowledge of what it means to truly live. Her ability to feel deeply makes her a mirror to others, reflecting their unspoken fears and desires. When she listens, it is not with mere politeness but with an attentiveness that penetrates the surface. She sees beyond the words, into the silences, the hesitations, the buried truths that others may not even be aware of themselves. This can be disarming, for it is rare to be seen so completely. Yet it is also intimidating, for such a woman does not permit shallowness or pretense to linger in her presence. To engage with her emotionally is to be invited into a deeper reality, one where the trivialities of life give way to what is essential. She draws others into this depth not through force but through the gravity of her being. Her tears, when they come, are not a sign of weakness but of strength, for they testify to a heart that has not grown numb to the beauty and pain of existence. Her laughter, too, is richer, resonating with the joy that comes not from fleeting pleasure, but from a profound appreciation of life's complexities. Yet her depth can be unsettling to those who have built their lives on the shallow foundations of superficiality. To encounter her is to be reminded of one's own emotional neglect, to feel the weight of the unexamined emotions that have been buried beneath distractions and defenses. She does not do this intentionally, it is simply the effect of her presence. Her willingness to feel deeply serves as a silent challenge to those who fear such vulnerability, who have armored themselves against the very thing that makes them most human. Her emotional depth also gives her the capacity to endure and to heal. She does not shy away from the difficult emotions that others might avoid: grief, disappointment, fear, for she knows that they are not enemies to be conquered, but companions to be understood. She allows herself to be shaped by them, not in bitterness but in wisdom. This makes her a source of strength to others, a place of refuge for those who are weary and lost. But it also makes her a figure of awe and, at times, fear, for few dare to explore the territory she navigates so freely. The courage of convictions is not merely the resolve to hold beliefs, but the unyielding determination to live by them, even when doing so invites criticism, isolation, or hardship. A woman with such courage is a rarity, for her convictions are not whims shaped by convenience or trends, but truths forged through reflection, experience, and an unwavering commitment to what is right. These truths are not lightly adopted nor easily discarded, for they are woven into the fabric of her character. She carries her principles not as a burden but as a beacon, guiding her decisions and actions. This steadfastness is not born of stubbornness or pride, it is born of clarity. She has wrestled with doubts, considered the alternatives, and emerged with a confidence that transcends mere opinion. To compromise her convictions would be to betray herself, for they are not external rules imposed upon her, but the essence of her identity. Such courage is both inspiring and unnerving. It is inspiring because it demonstrates the strength of a life lived with purpose, a life that does not shrink from the demands of integrity. It is unnerving because it challenges the complacency of those who have chosen the easier path of conformity. To encounter someone so unwavering in their principles is to be reminded of one's own compromises, of the times one has chosen comfort over courage. Her courage often sets her apart, for the world does not always reward those who stand firm. She may face opposition, ridicule, or even hostility, yet she remains unshaken. This resilience is not because she is immune to fear or pain, but because she understands that there are things more valuable than comfort or acceptance. She does not seek conflict, but neither does she flee from it when her principles are at stake. Her courage is not reactive but proactive, a choice made daily to align her life with her deepest beliefs. This alignment gives her a sense of freedom that is rare and enviable. She is not enslaved by the expectations of others or the shifting sands of public opinion. She does not need to constantly adapt her actions to fit the approval of those around her, for her approval comes from within. This independence is a source of great strength, but also a source of fear for those who lack it. Her courage exposes the fragility of a life lived without conviction, a life that bends and breaks under the slightest pressure. Her actions often speak louder than her words. She does not need to announce her principles or demand that others adopt them. Her life itself becomes a testament to her beliefs, a living example of what it means to stand firm in the face of adversity. This quiet courage can be more powerful than any speech or argument, for it demonstrates the strength of character in a way that words alone cannot. Yet her courage is not without cost. It requires her to make sacrifices, to endure loneliness, and to face the misunderstandings of those who cannot comprehend the depth of her commitment. She is often misjudged as inflexible or arrogant when, in truth, she is simply unwilling to betray the truths that define her. But these trials only serve to strengthen her resolve, for she knows that the worth of a conviction is measured not by how easily it is held, but by how fiercely it is defended. Her courage calls others to reflect, to question, and perhaps to rise. It is a quiet force that reshapes the world around her, not through dominance but through persistence. It challenges the status quo, not with rebellion for its own sake, but with the unspoken assertion that there is a better way, a truer way, if one has the courage to pursue it. The vision of purpose is a rare gift, a flame that burns steadily within the soul of a woman who understands that her life is part of something far greater than herself. It is not simply the ambition to achieve or the desire for recognition, but a deep and abiding sense of calling that gives direction to her days. Such a woman does not drift aimlessly, for she sees her path with clarity, even when it wins through uncertainty and shadows. Her vision is not dependent on circumstances, for it is rooted in something unshakable: her knowledge of why she exists and what she is meant to contribute to the world. This purpose does not come easily or cheaply. It is often the result of long seasons of searching, of wrestling with questions that others might prefer to ignore. She has faced the silence, the doubts, and the fears that come with asking, "Why am I here?" But she has not settled for easy answers or comforting illusions. She has pressed on until she has grasped the truth, and now she holds it with a strength that cannot be shaken. This truth becomes her compass, guiding her choices and aligning her actions with the deeper meaning she has discovered. A woman with such a vision does not waste her energy on pursuits that do not serve her purpose. She is not distracted by the trivial or the fleeting, for she sees beyond the immediate to the eternal. Her focus is a rare and unsettling thing in a world that thrives on distraction. She does not chase after every passing trend or bend to the whims of the crowd. Instead, she walks with quiet determination, her eyes fixed on the horizon of what truly matters. Her vision gives her a sense of urgency, not the frantic rush of anxiety, but the steady drive of someone who knows that her time is precious. She understands that life is a gift, and she is determined to spend it wisely. This does not mean that she is always busy, or that she measures her worth by her accomplishments. Rather, it means that she lives intentionally, choosing each day to move closer to the fulfillment of her purpose. Even her moments of rest are purposeful, for they restore her strength and renew her focus. Such a woman is often misunderstood, for her vision sets her apart. To those who drift through life without direction, her clarity can seem intimidating or even threatening. She does not fit neatly into their expectations, nor does she conform to their definitions of success. Her priorities may seem strange, her choices unconventional, but she is not swayed by the opinions of others. Her confidence does not come from the approval of the world, but from the assurance that she is living in alignment with her purpose. Her vision also gives her resilience, for it anchors her in the storms of life. She is not easily discouraged, for she knows that her purpose is larger than any setback or obstacle. When difficulties arise, she does not see them as failures, but as opportunities to grow stronger and wiser. Her purpose sustains her, giving her the strength to press on when others might give up. She is not afraid of challenges, for she knows that they are part of the journey. A woman with a vision of purpose is also a source of inspiration to others. Her life shines like a beacon, calling those around her to rise above mediocrity and to seek their own purpose. She does not impose her vision on others, for she understands that each person's calling is unique. But her example is a silent invitation to live with greater intention and to pursue what truly matters. Her purpose shapes every aspect of her life, from the way she spends her time to the relationships she invests in. She chooses her companions wisely, surrounding herself with those who support her vision rather than detract from it. Her relationships are not based on convenience or superficial attraction, but on a shared commitment to something greater. This sense of purpose even infuses her smallest actions with meaning, for she knows that every moment is an opportunity to move closer to the fulfillment of her calling. Her vision is not static but dynamic, growing and evolving as she continues to seek and to learn. She does not claim to have all the answers, nor does she pretend to have arrived at the final destination. But she is unafraid of the journey, for she knows that each step, no matter how small, brings her closer to the realization of her purpose. This willingness to embrace the unknown, to keep moving forward even when the path is unclear, is what sets her apart. It is a courage born of conviction, and a faith that her life is part of a larger story, one that is still unfolding. The light of unwavering self-worth shines with a radiance that cannot be dimmed by the judgments or expectations of others. It emanates from within, a steady glow that illuminates the path of a woman who understands her value, not because it has been granted to her by the world, but because it is intrinsic to her very being. She does not measure her worth by external standards, by her appearance, accomplishments, or the approval of others. Instead, her self-worth is rooted in the unshakable knowledge that she is enough as she is, that her existence alone carries infinite value. This self-worth is not arrogance, nor is it a facade of confidence masking insecurity. It is a quiet, unyielding strength that allows her to walk through life with dignity and grace. She does not seek validation, for she knows that seeking approval from others is a fleeting and unsatisfying pursuit. Her worth is not up for negotiation. It does not rise and fall with the opinions of those around her. She is free from the chains of comparison and competition, for she has no need to prove herself to anyone. Such a woman is a force to be reckoned with, not because she demands attention, but because her mere presence commands respect. She moves with a calm assurance that disarms those who attempt to diminish her, not through confrontation, but through the undeniable power of her self-possession. She does not crumble under criticism or inflate under praise, for she has built her foundation on something far more enduring than the fickle tides of public opinion. Her worth is a light that cannot be extinguished even in the darkest of times. This light often serves as a mirror, reflecting the insecurities of those who encounter her. It can be unsettling to stand in the presence of someone so at peace with themselves, for it forces others to confront the ways in which they have doubted or devalued their own worth. Some will be inspired by her, seeking to learn from her example and to find the same unwavering sense of self. Others may feel threatened, for her light reveals the shadows in which they have been hiding. But whether admired or feared, she cannot be ignored. Her unwavering self-worth gives her the freedom to say no without guilt and to say yes without fear. She does not make decisions based on the fear of rejection or the desire to please. Instead, she acts in alignment with her values and priorities, knowing that her worth is not dependent on the outcomes of her choices. This freedom is a rare and precious thing, for it allows her to live authentically, to be true to herself in every circumstance. Her relationships are shaped by this self-worth. She does not settle for less than she deserves, nor does she diminish herself to make others more comfortable. She surrounds herself with people who recognize and respect her value, and she does the same for them. Her interactions are not tainted by manipulation or neediness, for she has no need to seek fulfillment from others. Instead, her relationships are built on mutual respect and genuine connection, a reflection of the strength and clarity that comes from knowing her own worth. Her self-worth also gives her resilience in the face of adversity. She does not crumble under the weight of failure or rejection, for she understands that her value is not tied to her successes or setbacks. When the world tries to tell her that she is not enough, she stands firm, knowing that such judgments are meaningless against the truth she holds within her. Her worth is a constant, a light that shines even in the midst of doubt or despair. This unwavering self-worth allows her to extend grace to herself and to others. She does not hold herself to impossible standards, nor does she judge others harshly for their imperfections. She understands that worth is not earned but inherent, and this understanding gives her the capacity to forgive, to encourage, and to uplift. Her light is not a selfish glow that seeks to outshine others. It is a generous flame that invites others to find their own worth and to shine alongside her. Her self-worth is a source of quiet power, one that cannot be taken from her because it was never given by anyone else. It is the result of deep inner work, of facing her fears and doubts and emerging stronger on the other side. It is not something she flaunts or imposes on others, but it is evident in everything she does, in the way she carries herself, the way she speaks, and the way she treats those around her. Her light is both a comfort and a challenge, a reminder that true worth comes not from what we achieve or acquire, but from the simple, profound fact of who we are.